and boom!
Common man, no show pep, no solid plan. Spins a yarn, begins a tale. The esoteric approach won't fail. Tune in, it's time for Common Man. Common man, charms the housewives like no one can. What'd you shoot? Where'd we play? Non-stop nonsense on deck today. Tune in, it's time for Common Man.
Oh, boy.
Why should anybody aspire to be a common man, an average man? Do you realize what it means to be average? That means you're the best of the lousiest, and the lousiest of the best. Now, if we demand more and more for producing less and less, while the have-not nations encourage and inspire and indeed require hard work and maximum effort, if we deify the common men while they encourage and reward the uncommon ones, well, the end result of such a lopsided race as that is too obvious to require elaboration.
I mean, it's like, hello? Rosa, you don't know nothing.
I think we have a very good mix right now. I mean, the morning show does well, comparatively speaking, especially given what it has to go against. Dubers and I have done well, knock on wood, for 4 years. Common and Hartman have done okay, and Barrero is, in my estimation, the primetime player on our station. And then cultivating a couple of kids in Sludge and Lake, and, you know, we have the Vikings and maybe some things down the road, so I think we're strong right now.
No chance.
Into deep left center for Mitchell, and we'll see you tomorrow night.
You say?
I just want to say, you doubted us, but now we're here.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're seeing what a sophisticated offensive game plan looks like. You talk about
Ladies and gentlemen,
game plan looks like.
Now what do you think of that?
You know how reporters and columnists are. They want the controversy. They want the negativity. We're not going home yet, baby!
You find this funny, Mr. Grove? You're smiling. You find this humorous? No, they're not. You find this humorous, Mr. Grove? You're laughing and smiling. I'm just wondering if you do. You didn't answer my question, Mr. Grove. Do you find this humorous?
No, I find it humorous 4 years ago.
At least you're not smiling and laughing now. Oh, I guess you're back at it again now.
You like that? You like that?
He's the clown from Brown. He's the fourth in the north. This is the common man, Dan Cole.
We're all about accuracy here. We probably should clear something up. Alec Lewis of The Athletic, he thinks that I'm the clown from Brown University, the Ivy League school. It's Brown, the now defunct Brown Institute of Broadcast School. There's quite a difference. Other than when you say Brown Institute, it's B.I., and then Brown is in the Ivy League, so that's B.I. as well. But I went to a broadcast school, not the Ivy League. Brown. I'm common. He's 10 to be. There's so much to get to. It seems like even the tough love or the love covenant has some tough love covenant customers. We'll take a look at PA's intercepted text messages. Wolves win. And they did it without even having to try very hard because they were playing an 0-7 ball club last night. Vikings, they're back at it again. They'll be taking on the Baltimore Ravens this upcoming Sunday. Can they now duplicate what they did on Sunday, this upcoming Sunday, and put 2 wins in a row together? With all those topics to get to, I'm not sure where to begin. Let's spin the wheel of topics. Some text messenger yesterday said, what season's over? Commons golf, but not the Vikings. Skull.
Commons golf.
It landed on Commons golf game. I just took a little guess.
What did you shoot today?
78.
Where'd we play?
Oak Marsh.
Where'd you hit it on? One?
I hit it, split the middle of the fairway. It was a perfect drive.
Second shot?
Hit a really nice hybrid. Matter of fact, I was closer in two. I've played Oak Marsh hundreds.
Hundreds?
Hundreds of times. That's the closest I've been in two shots. I hit a perfect drive and a perfect hybrid.
How far from the green were you?
I had gap wedge in my hand.
Then what?
I knocked it on the green to about 10, 12 feet.
Then what?
Two putted for par.
Incredible.
Then on number two, I didn't clear the hazard, but they do have a drop area on the other side. So I played it, had 175 to the flag, and stuffed one into about 10 feet and two putters. I still stole a bogey out of the deal. So I played okay today. 16 got me again. It's a shorter par 5 that has a forced carry. And it's not really a tough forced carry. I hit a good drive, and then I was laying up with a 5-iron. And I pulled it left, and it was behind there. There's a small grove of trees on the left.
The 5-iron might as well be a pitch.
It should have been today because I hit it solid, but I pulled it left. So then I had to clear the hazard area, but I had to hit a 45-degree angle to hit it, because I couldn't get to the green because I had to hit it through the trees, which I wasn't planning to do. So then I'm lying 3, and I've got 58 yards, and I chunk a sandwich. And then dump it on to make double. So it's sort of a disappointing end of the day, but I still got out and played. The weather was fine. I was in a short sleeve shirt by the time I got to the backside. It was really nice out there, but the weather is now taking a
nice
turn.
day we'll have in a while, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, tomorrow might be okay, and then after that, I think we're in a
winter is coming.
Trouble. Winter is it's Tennessee. It's right around the corner, as they like to say. Here on the Common Man program, we take the 5 C's: compliments, comments, concerns, complaints, if we ever get them, and questions. And sometimes even the host of the program has a complaint or two. And it's been brought to my attention, Tennessee, that Meat Sauce, Paul Lambert of the Power Trip Morning Show, and believe what, you probably listen more often than I do. He's got to be like third on the IQ list of the 3 main hosts, right? Or not?
There's no doubt.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure. But I'm told that, he has a family now. He and Kelsauce, they gave birth to, well, she gave birth. He was there. Both, I guess, when Louis was first. Right. And then I think he was also there when Kelsauce gave birth to Louis. And it's come to my attention that apparently Meat Sauce is using Louis on Twitter and Snapchat. And what's the other one? There's Snapchat,
Instagram, TikTok, Facebook.
And I'm thinking to myself, how sad that a major market radio talk show host would exploit his child to try to garner ratings and acceptance from people. Who would do such a thing? How sad is it, Tennessee? I'm actually...
He has no chance.
I think Sauce doesn't have any chance, and pretty soon Louis not going to either. You remember that text? I'll dig that email out when I've gotten plenty of complaint emails over there. I got another one I'm about to get to, but the one guy told me that Deuce and Baby Brother Peter have no chance.
Yeah.
They have no chance because of the stupid things I get them to say on the radio. He said I needed to take some time off, freshen it up, and get some help. And Deuce graduated.
Now what do you think? Raising a bat.
From Nebraska. You know what the N stands for on the side of the Nebraska helmet?
What's that?
Stands for knowledge. He graduated, and he has a job that pays really good money. He's a rate and finance analyst for an electric company. And Baby Brother Peter graduated from the Eastridge High School, summa cum laude with distinction and a 4.3 grade point average. I think he did just fine. And he's now pursuing a finance degree, and he'll be interning with Kane Brothers in San Francisco as he tries to get into private equity. I hope it works because from what I'm told, generally private equity, you start at like $165,000, $170,000 to start. And then within 5 years, if you do real well, you can make $800,000 or $900,000 a year. That's my new retirement fund. Did I tell you I met with my financial advisor the other day? You know what he advised? I get a second job is what he advised. Thank you. Working on some new Flop, Sweat, and Tears tour material. We're going to be in Mankato pretty soon, so I just want to let you know that.
So someday you'll be calling your kids ATM.
I'm hoping to, because that's how they spell ATM. Greg Swedberg, who I dearly miss, I don't see him very often. Remember, he was...
Craig?
Is
that Craig?
Craig Swedberg, my good friend Craig Swedberg, who I've seen who for so many years was... he was my mentor. He's the person I leaned on. I spent a half hour a day before my show in his office, and usually a half hour. He didn't accomplish a lot between 11:30 and noon or 3 and 3:30, but nevertheless, it was quite the relationship, and I still consider him a not just a coworker but a friend. But I don't see him as often anymore because he has this new job. Now he hasn't died; he's made that perfectly clear. But I don't see him as often. But he was sent a voicemail, and I didn't. I've got the voicemail, and I also have a transcription of it. And I didn't know if we could air. I didn't get to see Greg because he's never here. I didn't get to ask him if we could air the audio, because when someone calls, when they call into the studio, that's one thing. We've learned over the years that if you call a radio station, if you call the studio, the call-in line, there's an expectation you're going to be put on the air, right? So you can't go, I didn't want to go on the air. Well, you shouldn't have called.
Yeah.
But if you call to offer up a compliment or a complaint or a question or a concern or a comment to one of the coroner's offices, you can't necessarily do that. But I do have the transcription of it, and it reads as follows. Hi. I just wanted to leave some feedback regarding current programs on KFAN. I really, really thoroughly enjoy Paul Allen until noon. I think he's just very good at what he does. He's a likable guy. But then I've tried numerous times to listen to the Common Man, and my goodness, if I couldn't have a more entertaining and informative time on the radio myself, I give up. Because I've yet to enjoy one program that the Common Man has done. So just thought I'd give the feedback, finally, because every time I listen to Paul Allen, I enjoy him. But every time I've tried that with the Common Man, I would sooner go read a book. Thank you. Well, and I got a great book suggestion for you. It's called Being the Common Man, the best of the lousiest, the lousiest of the best. It's just $25, and that $25 includes the book, which can also double as a table leg leveler or a doorstop. And you get the book, tax, title, license, shipping and handling, and gratuity is all included. That's what I would recommend. Now, if Being the Common Man, the best of the lousiest, lousiest of the best, isn't your cup of tea, I thought, well, where could he find a book? So he's from Bach, Minnesota, tend to be Bach.
Never heard of it.
Well, I had not either. B-O-C-K, Bach, Minnesota. And so, let's see, I look up Bach, Minnesota, and I say, is there a public library in Bach, Minnesota? Now let's see what AI says. No, there is no public library in Bach, Minnesota. However, Bach is served by the East Central Regional Library System, which has 14 branch locations in the surrounding counties. You can use ECRL's resources, such as online and physical materials, and access their services through one of their branch libraries. You can find a branch near you by visiting the ECRL website to find a branch library located in a nearby city or county. You can get a library card or use online services. And I would recommend the first book he should probably check out would be the Holy Bible, because it sounds like when he listens to the program, he thinks it's the end times. And the last book in the Holy Bible is called Revelation, and it talks about the rapture and the second coming of Jesus. So maybe you want to get prepared for that. So I would recommend first and foremost Being the Common Man, the best of the lousiest of the best. And then if not, I would get the Holy Bible.
Two of the most popular books ever created.
You are correct. And think about this. It took all sorts of people to write the Bible. Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, some guy named Acts, another guy named Leviticus, Joshua, Deuteronomy, Genesis. Did you know God was a big baseball fan? Because, well, the first verse in the Bible says, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. So that'd be my suggestion to my friend in Bach. I hope that helps. We'll break. We'll come back. We'll take a peek at the purple. But Tennessee has a keyword for us to try to put $1,000 in your hand.
The Fan and 2 men on a junk truck want to give you a shot to win bonus bucks for their national cash contest. Just enter the keyword BILLS at KFAN.com now for a shot at winning. That keyword is BILLS. Enter now at KFAN.com. Join KFAN's Corey Cove this Friday at Willie McCoy's in Champlin for Coors Light Hockey Night. Drop by starting at 6 p.m. to catch Minnesota take on New York. Enjoy ice-cold Coors Light specials and play trivia for your chance to win great prizes, including sweet tickets to a game in January. Get the full details now at KFAN.com, keyword calendar.
Tennessee, I'm told one of the claims to fame for Bach, Minnesota is an adult entertainment establishment. I think that's where you can go watch women in various stages of undress.
Oh, really?
Yes. Do you remember the actress Ursula Andress? Sorry, that's an old boomer joke. Yeah, apparently there's. So maybe our listener that's disappointed with the Common Man program, could go. I'm not sure if they're open at this time of the day yet. I'm not sure what time they call them gentlemen's clubs, I think. I don't know what time of day it opens. I know that Sugar Daddy's opens at 5 daily. Well, it's a
Tasty Tuesday, too. There's 2-for-1s going on right now.
You have to believe me. I've never been to Sugar Daddy's, but I've driven by it hundreds of times on my way to Camp Richard. Didn't sound right either. Because once you get across that Anoka County line, your troubles are behind you. And you go right by Sugar Daddy's on Highway 10.
Yeah.
You can't miss it. Opens at 5 daily. Sometimes there's a lot of pickup trucks there. And I don't know if they're trying to pick up people, but their pickup trucks are there. So, a time now for Peek at the Purple, brought to you by friends at Affordable Electric. Fall storms can knock out more than your weekend plans. You know that, don't you? Be ready with Affordable Electric. They're your local experts in panel upgrades, standby generators, and surge protection. From residential service calls to light commercial repairs, they got you covered when the lights go out. Affordable Electric, power you can count on, service that you can trust. Visit affordable-electric.com, affordable-electric.com, and remember, Affordable Electric is shockingly affordable. Don't touch that metal pole. I mean, when there's electricity in the air, I'd be very careful about that. For Peek at the Purple, Tennessee, would you rather talk a little purple, or should I go over some emails that are praising the comment, that are verbally? That wasn't my intent, was to have people defend me.
Is there an option C?
Well, the option C would be, let's take a look at Paul's intercepted emails, because they are Viking related. Maybe we should do C. My intention was not to get people to rally to my defense. I don't mind. It's always nice to know you're liked, but the reason I did it was because I just thought it was funny. I thought, especially when he added I'd rather read a book, and then I thought, I got the perfect punchline. I just thought it was really good to say, well, I've got a book for you, and then it's the one I wrote. But here's what a couple people said.
Are you doing intercepted emails?
Yeah, sorry.
Well, then we got to play the open.
Oh, yeah.
It's the best part.
Yeah.
Time now for Paul's
Intercepted
emails. Now, with a look inside the inbox of Vox, here's the Common Man.
This one says, can you address the elephant in the room for me with KOC? Apparently it was KOC. He's on with PA on Tuesdays,
yes,
right?
He is.
Live from Winter Park. PA is at Winter Park every Tuesday, right? The new Winter Park, also known as the TCO Performance Center. It says, can you address the elephant in the room for me with KOC? What is with his obsession for passing on obvious short yardage run plays? He did it again on Sunday late in the game on the goal line, passing twice on obvious run plays, one of which stopped the clock. Is the temptation too much for him to overcome, to outfool the defense? It's been his tactic since he came here. Signed Ramsey guy. He does seem more times than not to want to pass the ball on short yardage situations than on runs. I'm not always opposed to that. I do like to keep the opposition guessing. Oftentimes, short yardage running play is the obvious call. But of course, if you're a coach that's always running the ball, then or passing the ball in those situations, then the obvious play becomes the pass. And so I don't think you're really fooling anybody. I don't think it's any secret. He's being a former quarterback and a quarterback coach. I think he likes to spin the ball. I think he likes to see it wing, wang, wong around the football field. And I don't know. I think I've seen or heard in interviews once or twice where he's kind of chided himself about, I might want to run it a little bit more here and there. But I don't know. It's the old tend to be, is it you can't change a tiger's stripes or can't teach an old dog new tricks. I don't know. What's your thought on what does seem to be a penchant for wanting to throw on short yardage situations even near the goal line? Does he not trust his running game?
I think he is just one of those that tries to come up with play call. He spends the entire week dissecting the other team's defense and what they like to do, and then he wants to be known as a brilliant play caller. So, like, running the ball, when a team is just running the ball up and down the field, no one ever says, man, that's a brilliant play caller. Right? Like, the coach doesn't really get credit. That's just, hey, you're handing the ball off and your bigs are moving the pile and your running back's getting yards. Like, no one ever says, what a genius play call to do a 34 trap there. But, if you send a guy in motion and you've got two guys split out left here and one guy right, and you have some sort of crossing pattern that springs somebody open for an easy pass, we look at the coach as, man, he designed that play. So I think sometimes KOC has a little bit of that to him. And, he is pretty good at it. But there are times, and I'm not one of those that got to run the ball all the time, Why aren't we running the ball? But the one situation at the end of that game, when the clock needs to be your friend and you have the ball at the 2-yard line, there is no excuse not to run the ball there. Because you didn't need to score a touchdown. It would be nice to score a touchdown. You have an equal chance of scoring a touchdown running as you do passing. But if you fail on your run, you keep the clock running or you burn a timeout. If you fail on the pass, you just gave Detroit a chance to get back into that game unnecessarily.
Well, in Mark Craig seconds, what you have to say, I don't know if you saw it. Mark, NFL writer for the Fish Wrap Factory West Side, he always does a 5 extra points piece.
Oh, I get it. Extra points.
Yes, 5 extra points piece after every game. He does it on Mondays. And number 2 was O'Connell forgets the run at a bad time. Here's what Mark Craig, he's pretty hard on him. Here's what he says. It's no mystery why the Vikings offense had a good rhythm throughout most of this game. O'Connell ran the ball with an exclamation mark. He knows he has to, but he doesn't always listen to himself. At halftime, when the Vikings had their first lead at Ford Field since 2021, O'Connell had called 19 passes and 11 runs, as many runs as the entire Chargers game. McCarthy was sacked 3 times, but he appeared comfortable because he had a running game averaging 6 yards a carry. Things got more difficult when Aaron Jones left because of a shoulder injury earlier in the third quarter, and O'Connell nearly blew the game by reverting to his pass-happy passions after the Lions gifted the Vikings a short field with a blocked field goal. It was 1st and goal at the 1 when Jordan Mason was stuffed for a 1-yard loss on a run up the middle. Some of us, even Fox announcer, former KOC teammate, QB GOAT Tom Brady, were pleading for more runs, but O'Connell threw the ball incomplete and rolled McCarthy to his left, sack. 2 clock stoppages left the Lions with all 3 timeouts and the Vikings with a 20-yard field goal and too much time left, 3:31. After a Lions tutty, KOC's hand-picked franchise QB bailed him out with a great touch pass to Jalen Naylor to seal the victory. Overall, O'Connell called 30 passes and 29 runs, but 1 or 2 of those passes should have been red zone runs. So I think he's saying exactly what you did. And he basically says O'Connell almost blew the game.
He did.
And the touch pass by McCarthy bailed him out. And that was another thing. Again, and this was also one of those intercepted text messages that I didn't get to, where the text messenger says, This was basically the Vikings Super Bowl. That's a little exaggerated, but they needed that win. Vikings played really well. Detroit didn't, and Detroit still almost won the game. Detroit, one thing Viking fans should have seen in that game was the Lions were going through the same thing on their offensive line that the Vikings had gone through for 5, 6, 7 weeks, right? It was beaten and battered. So, they needed the win. It's a good win, but there was a chance to let that one slip through their fingers. I don't think they should. Baltimore seems to be on a bit of a roll now, and I know they get them at home, which is an advantage, but that's going to be a very that's going to be a tough game, Tennessee, I think. I think Baltimore is found their footing now that Lamar is back, and should be interesting. You'll hear the game on this radio station. It is a noon start, right? 10 a.m. with the pregame and 12 noon with the kickoff. Peek at the Purple brought to you by our friends at affordable-electric.com. For all of your electrical needs, affordable-electric. Mark Rosen joins us just before 2 here on The Fan.
The feast heads north to Buffalo Wild Wings Elk River this Friday. Join Paul Allen, Eric Nordquist, and Alec Lewis as they get you set for Sunday's showdown with the Ravens with nonstop football talk, great food and drinks, and your shot at prizes all morning long. Doors open at 8 a.m. Get all the details now at KFAN.com. Keyword calendar.
What's the name of the place again?
That'd be Buffalo Wild Wings in Elk River.
And what time would that be?
Doors open at 8 a.m.
Beautiful. A couple 13-14 past. Mark Rosen will join us not long from now. I believe the National Football League trade deadline is 3 o'clock, so we're under an hour and a half. You texted me earlier and sent me a screenshot of a tweet. Sauce Gardner, highly regarded cornerback for the New York Jets, no longer plays for the New York Jets. He'll be suited up for the Colts. Is that correct, Tennessee?
Yeah, so they traded Sauce Gardner to the Colts for 2 first-round picks and wide receiver, what's his name? Adonai Mitchell. And the Jets have made another trade.
Ooh.
They sent defensive tackle. Oh, no, there we go. The Jets are sending defensive tackle Quinnen Williams to the Dallas Cowboys for defensive tackle Mozzie Smith, first and second round picks. So they are loading up on draft picks.
Is Quinnen Williams really good? He must be if they're getting that kind of
getting that kind
return.
And then I believe the Las Vegas Raiders sent Jacoby Myers, wide receiver, to Jacksonville today.
Well, the Jets, it makes sense. You think to yourself, well, if you're trying to build to be a contending team, Sauce Gardner's considered, if he's not the best CB in the league, he's one of them, right?
And he's young.
Yeah, and he's young. So why would you do that? Well, because if you get two first-round picks, that's 2 first-round picks are pretty good. Now, if the Colts continue to play like they have been, I don't know when those, if that's next year, the year after, whatever, but they could be but they're still first-round picks, so I guess I don't blame the Jets. And it certainly doesn't hurt the Colts in any way, shape, or form because they're playing for now. Sometimes, you have to play for the here and now.
Twins could learn from that.
Yes, the late George Allen. He coached the L.A. Rams and the Washington, when they used to be called the Redskins. This was many, many years ago when I was a kid. He had this phrase called "the future is now," because people would say, "Well, it's like brilliant. We're playing to win right now," and that makes some sense in that case. Tenby, I don't know if these negative PAs intercepted texts.
Rashid Shaheed was traded to the Seahawks as well. Okay. He's a wide receiver for the Saints.
Very good.
Now in Seattle.
I don't know if these PAs intercepted text messages are from Viking fans or maybe Packer fans that are just trying to stir the pot a little bit. But this one says, it will be an uphill struggle for the Vikings to make the playoffs. Remember, the Vikings are still in last place in their division. Well, yeah, but they're only a game and a half out of last place. And again, I know it's overreaction week to week. They played pretty well. This past week. They played pretty well. Detroit did not. And part of the reason Detroit did not play well is because of what the Vikings did in the game. Bears won, but that was with a shootout with a terrible Bengals team. And the Packers, to me, that was, of all the losses of the NFC North teams, there were just 2 of them, obviously. Detroit. I thought the Packers was. Now I know the Panthers wreck. What was it going into that game? It wasn't awful, was it? Or did I just read? because when I'm watching TV and they have the name of the team on the scoreboard, the record, sometimes it's so small I can't read it. I thought they were 500 going into that game, or is that incorrect?
Yeah, Panthers are 5-4.
Yeah.
Now that division,
right?
Soft schedule.
Yes, but still, it wasn't like they lost to a 1-6 club. But that's still at Curly, you're supposed to win that game. But yeah, they are still.
It's not like Cleveland's 2-6 and they lost to Cleveland,
right? So yeah, they are last.
Well, and the two teams in front of them in the division, as of right now, they have the tiebreaker over
exactly
both Chicago and Detroit.
Exactly, and again, it's so early. We're just barely at the halfway point of the season, if you want to call it halfway. 17 game schedule. Is it 8 or 9? What's the halfway point? I don't. I think the Vikings are. You okay?
I just bumped my knee.
Well, yeah. Here's one that says, "One win does not a season make. Winning multiple games in a row will be required if the Vikings are going to be playoff bound." Well, yeah,
of course,
we get that. I understand.
Thanks,
I don't know,
Captain Obvious.
Maybe the purveyor of positivity was a little over the top today. I didn't get a chance to listen. Maybe he was just. I mean, I'm sure I asked.
That doesn't sound like Paul Allen I know.
I asked Nordo. I said yesterday when I ducked my head into the studio, I said, "Is there a little? How's the purveyor of positivity today? Is he got a little pep in his step?" He said, "Oh yeah, he's feeling pretty good today." And well, he should. That was a big win for him. I mean, they basically the season would it have been completely over 3-5? No, but it's getting darker if it is. The dark clouds are starting to accumulate, but they win, and so. There's still plenty of there's still plenty of football to be played here in this upcoming season before it's over. Here's another one. It says, "Comment, I know it's probably too late at this point, but the Vikings really could have used today to possibly trade for another contributing running back. We love Jones, but his availability is always in question. And clearly things work smoother when we're able to depend on some semblance of a run game. One injury to Mason and it's over. Is there still time to sign Saquon, King Henry, or 4 or 5 other guys? Kidding, but anyway, Rosen is a fraud. I'm not kidding. I wish we would have signed 4 or 5 running backs, but the trade deadline is not over yet. There's still time, but that does make some sense, Tenneby. I mean, do we know about Jones and... He's going to miss a few games. What is his injury status? Do we know what that was?
The shoulder and the AC joint?
Shoulder, right. So are we...
They made it seem like it's possible he could play Sunday.
Okay.
So I think it came out better than they were.
Oh, okay. All right.
They thought.
Well, then I guess we don't need to worry about that. But
well, I'm not saying he's playing.
Yeah, well, you're right.
But it doesn't appear to be long term.
Okay. So... Well, we talked about the Vikings in the running game.
They need him for pass protection too.
Yeah.
Jordan Mason was a saloon door Sunday.
And that's I think that's always. I think that's an underrated. Part of a running back skill set. But you saw what happened with Detroit. They had to take Gibbs out of the game on obvious passing situations because he offered no resistance to any of the linebackers that were rushing the quarterback. And so you have to have somebody that can at least put up some resistance. I mean, at least slow a guy. If you can slow a pass rusher down even for a half second to a second, that should give a quarterback enough time to find a receiver and get rid of the football. But yeah, so I don't know. You had also sent me a text yesterday, I believe it was, a screenshot of a text where someone was reporting, I don't know who it was, that the Vikings could be buyers at the deadline. I don't know. Maybe we'll know more. Mark Rosen's as plugged in as anybody with the Vikings. Maybe he's heard something. Have there been any rumors, Tenneby? Have we heard from any of the beat writers from the Fish Wraps locally here, from the Athletic, or any of the big news breakers, your Peliceros and your Schefters and those people? Have we heard anything?
I've heard nothing Vikings related.
Okay.
Does Meat Sauce count? He's not really, breaking news or anything, but there's a player he wants.
Oh.
He desires.
Well, yeah.
That'd be Breece Hall, running back for the New York Jets, since Jets are in sell mode. And I just saw a tweet from Diana Rossini that said the Jets' asking price for Breece Hall is a third-round pick per source. Teams have yet to meet New York's ask with just over an hour to go until the deadline.
Is that so? Are you with meat sauce on that? Would you like to see Breece Hall?
Breece Hall is interesting because I think it was his rookie year. He was unbelievable. He's a very good pass catching back too. So he's a dual threat. He's still relatively young. He's had some injury stuff, but then when he came back from the injury, whether it's him or whether it's the offense, I'm not sure. He never has quite lived up to the potential that we thought he could have. But quarterback whisperer, lots going on in this offense. He'd be a pretty good fit here. I don't know. If they're the Vikings, I just don't know if you can keep giving up draft picks. They've gotten rid of so many over the last couple of years. I just don't think that's sustainable. So I definitely don't know if I'd want to give a third-round pick for him. But you start going 4 or 5, I'd be interested.
KOC's instinct to call passing plays when running is both the better tactical and strategic move is his fatal flaw in why a team he coaches will never have a long playoff run. Wow. I don't know. I mean, but maybe
he did win a big game as a coach, just not as a head coach.
Well, but you know what someone's saying? Someone addresses that. They say KOC is trying to show he had a lot more to do with the Rams offense than Sean McVay. And maybe that's it. Because I do think there are quarterbacks. I agree with what you said. And I don't know for sure if KOC does this. But I do think there are coaches who want to kind of flex their muscles a little bit and say, look at me. Look at how good I am. Look at these trick plays I call and all these things. I know Ben Johnson.
He's one of them, yeah.
Ben Johnson did it for Detroit. And many times it worked. Other times it completely backfired. Like it was, I think it was in the Commanders playoff game last year when the Lions got destroyed by Washington. Is it Jamison Williams? Is that the kid's name?
Yes.
Well, they called one of those, flea flicker double reverse passes from Williams, right? And I don't know if he's the brightest bulb in the drawer, because he threw it to like triple coverage. Just like if there's nobody, you have to tell who's ever going to throw that pass. Don't force it. Just we can't turn the ball over in this situation. So just either throw it away or try to run or just go down, but don't throw it. And he threw it into light. There was nobody. It was in. And I mean, again, that wasn't the difference in the game. I think the Lions were getting bulldozed and steamrolled, whichever piece of heavy equipment you want to use to describe how badly Detroit got beat. But sometimes you can outsmart yourself with the trickeration too. And I'm a guy, I like gadget plays. I think they're fun.
Well, it worked for Ben Johnson and the Bears this week when he had DJ Moore getting on a reverse. And
correct.
I will say, I would love to see the all 22 of that play. Because one, not only was Caleb Williams wide open with nobody around him, but two, even DJ Moore, like he probably could have just ran. There was nobody on that side of the football. He probably could have just ran it in. He didn't even need to throw it. I don't know where the Bengals defense was. And they're obviously a horrid defense.
That guy said he's never once enjoyed a show. I've been listening for over 25 years, and unlike him, I've enjoyed a show once. Well, so that means this text message, at least he enjoyed one show of mine.
Yeah.
Because the guy that issued the complaint to Greg Swedberg said he's never enjoyed a show even once. This one says, comment, I couldn't disagree, though I also enjoy PA. I thoroughly enjoy listening to you. And you're the show I listen to most frequently on KFAN. Though I love all the shows, I listen to you the most. Keep up the entertaining show, as always, me boy. Quack, quack. I appreciate that.
Oh,
little ducky and bunny. It's funny how two different people can have completely divergent views of one show. It's sort of like, it's amazing how your taste will change. Like, there was a time I didn't like spankings. Wolves won last night, tend to be, and I the headline here is, let me dial up headline. Timberwolves. Timberwolves pull away in fourth quarter against winless Nets. Julius Randle had his first regular season triple-double with the Wolves, who didn't play their best, but did enough down the stretch. My guess is, and in this one, I don't really even fault the team, I guess. I'm about to complain about the Wolves again and lack of effort. When you know you're playing a terrible team in a terrible city with terrible fans and a terrible stadium and terrible cheerleaders and terrible ownership and terrible concessions and terrible parking and terrible everything, you have the winless Nets, so you know you don't have to play your best, right? You can play okay and you can win a basketball game, and they did that last night. The only encouraging thing, I think, for me, well, a couple of encouraging things, to see Randle with, and I also saw a note that Ant's return is imminent, right? I mean, they think he could return at any time. He's already was approved for contact in practice and such like that. So I think he's coming back. So that's obviously an encouraging development. But the other is that they're able to win without him, and Randle was able to play triple doubles impressive. You're scoring, you're rebounding, and you're getting your teammates.
Ant practiced today.
Okay.
Chris Finch said, quote, he is progressing well regarding the hamstring injury. Asked if he could play tomorrow versus the New York Knicks. Finch said, quote, I wouldn't be able to say at this stage. I have no idea. As John Krasinski notes, that wasn't a no.
Yeah. And it's a hammy, right?
Yes.
And I think we've talked about this. I'm not a doctor. I've never even played one on the radio or TV. But I think those they can be tender. They can be a little, they can be a nagging injury. Is that correct? Do we believe, or am I confusing my injuries?
Yes.
So then, if you're this early in the season, I know games in October and November count as much as they do in April and May, but I would err on the side of caution.
Sure. And maybe that's why he's been out.
Yes.
Maybe they already did err on this. Maybe it wasn't even that big of a deal.
That's a
because remember, game one, he had the back tightness. Remember, he was questionable before game one with like back tightness.
Yeah.
I think the hamstrings and lower back are all connected together.
Okay.
And I wonder if maybe it was more hamstrings from the get-go that you just felt the pain in the back.
Yes.
Because I personally had that happen before.
You did?
Oh, gosh, yes.
So you have had an experience.
Whenever I have back issues, it's usually not my back. It's hamstrings and glutes.
So you have had an experience that is not unlike that of Anthony Edwards.
Me and Anthony Edwards, probably very similar.
Yeah, well, you're both very athletic. we do know that. So yeah, and here's the other thing that I take comfort from. Last year we would have lost that game last night. No, we would have. We would have lost to the Nets, and then we would have said, we just got to put forth better effort. They wanted it more than we did. They tried harder, but they kind of went through the motions and still got a W. So good for the Minnesota Timberwolves. We'll I'll leave you with this, Tennessee, real quick. I have some feedback for the station. No one, and I mean no one, brings to the table what the common man does. Sharp, on point, not afraid to tell it like he sees it. It's simply a breath of fresh air. It's almost as if I wrote it or Jim Bruton wrote it for Mark Rosen, one of the two. We'll take a break. We'll come back. Speaking of Mark Rosen, he joins us next here on the Common Man program on The Fan.